All right, hey there, we're going to review one step first and then two-step equations. This should all be a good review, but I want to throw something out there just to make sure. It's been a little while, so we'll make sure we're all okay with this. Remember, whatever's happening to the variable in this first one, it happens to be m. What's happening to it is they are adding 4 to it. We always want to use the additive inverse or multiplicative inverse, or just undo whatever is happening, right? So we're just going to do minus 4 minus 4. So m turns out to be negative 16. All right, so in number 6, x, we're going to take away 7 from x, and then it ends up being 13. So what do we have to do? If instead of subtracting 7, we're going to add 7. So x is 20. All right, so in our next one, we have m. We're taking away 9. So the opposite of taking away 9 is, of course, to add 9, right? So we're going to add 9. All right, just be careful here. Negative 13 and positive 9, right? If I owed you $13 and I paid you 9, I still owe you $4. So be careful with that. We're going to start off with a lot of addition and subtraction here, you see. So in our next one, p minus 6. So what are we going to use? We're going to add 6 to both sides. So p turns out to be positive 1. All right, we'll keep motoring along here. These aren't too bad. You've probably been doing these for a couple of years. So v minus 15, right? We should add 15. Very good. So v turns out to be negative 12 in the end. Excellent. And one more before we switch things up. Okay, so n plus 16, what should we do? That's right, we're going to subtract 16. Okay, and that makes the final answer negative 7. Good stuff. All right, this time x is being multiplied by 8, right? There's no sign, there's nothing going on. When they just put them next to each other, then we're going to turn into multiplication. So we're going to divide by 8 and divide by 8. Okay, and a lot of kids go and grab the calculator here. But remember, we know it's a negative and a positive. So we end up with x equals negative. Okay, and how many times does 8 go into 10? Just taking a look at that first part. Well, that's 1 time. Okay, so now there's 2 left over there, right? So how many times does 8 go into 24? Well, that's 3 times. So it turns out to be 13. Pretty cool, right? All right, we'll try this one again. What do we have to do here? 14 and b are being multiplied, so we're going to divide that 14 out. Okay, and kind of think about doubling here. So if I double 14, I end up at 28. And if I double that, so that means I need 4 of those grand total. While I was talking about that, I went ahead and made negative because we had a negative and a positive, so we knew that this had to be a negative. Okay, that way we don't have to worry about those other things. We can just work with the numbers themselves. Okay, so that was multiply. All right, next one. B is being divided by 18. How do you get rid of dividing by 18? Yeah, you multiply by 18. Okay, so I need 18 times negative 6. All right, what are you going to do with that? About 10 and 8. Again, I know the answer has to be negative. Okay, so let's do it this way. So 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 8 is 48. So we're at 108. Okay. All right, and our last one here before we get to two-step. This time 10 is being multiplied by n. So what are you going to do to get rid of it? Divide by 10. All right, so we always want to pause there, and I want to give you a chance to just think about what we're going to do next, so you can go ahead and do that. All right, let's put these two things together. Okay, I jumped right into some things with fractions as well for our two-steppers. Okay, so the first thing is a is being divided by 4, but then after that we're going to add 2. So we're going to do everything in the reverse order here. So I have to get rid of the 2 before I can do anything else. So a over 4 equals 4. And then in my second step, what we're going to do is a is being divided by 4. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4. Because remember, this is over 1, so they go away. So a equals 16, because that's our 4 times 4 on the left. All right, so in number 2, our first step has to be, what are our choices here? We can multiply by 4, or we can add 6 to get rid of negative 6, right? What should happen first is add 6, good. So that means I have x over 4 equals positive 1. And now again, to get rid of this x being divided by 4, we're going to multiply both sides by 4. So x turns out to be plain old 4. All right, we'll keep moving along here. Remember, if I go too fast or anything, just pause. We can, whatever choices we have to, in this problem, we're going to have to divide by 9 and add 7. Which one should be done first? Add 7. Okay, so we got 9x equals 0. Oh boy, we're going to divide by 9. So what's that turn out to be? 0, right? I don't have any money. I'm going to divide it amongst all 9 of my friends. Everybody gets nothing. How about that? That's kind of terrible, isn't it? Either which way, we'll keep going. All right, so again, you're getting the idea that for the one setup like this, we do have to move the addition or subtraction item first. So we'll subtract 4. So now I get negative 4 equals n over 5. How do we get rid of that 5? All right, we're going to multiply by 5. I'm going to make sure I use parentheses here so I don't accidentally subtract. So I get negative 20 equals n. All right, we got another one set up this way. Here we go. We're going to add 5. You get in the routine now. R over 20, that equals 1. And how do we get rid of the 20? Multiply by 20. Why? Because it's being divided. So R turns out to be 20. All right, 6 and 7, they look different, right? So there's something really different about this. And that means that normally we want to subtract 5 first, but right now it's all being divided by the 6. So this is the one where it kind of breaks that rule. So we have to multiply by 6 first to get rid of the fraction. So I got negative 6 equals 5 plus x, and now we'll subtract the 5. So x turns out to be negative 11. All right, so having seen that, we'll roll this up just a little bit more. First steps could be subtract 9 or multiply by 3. Which one needs to happen first? Because the way it's set up. Good, multiply by 3. So v plus 9 equals 24. Minus 9 minus 9. V turns out to be 15 it is. All right, number 8. Okay, so you have a couple choices here. And typically what I'll see out of my students is we're going to distribute here. And we're going to make it 2n plus 10 equals negative 2. And that's totally 100% fine. Okay, you're going to subtract 10. So we get 2n equals negative 12. All right, what has to happen next? Divide by 2. Awesome. So n turns out to be negative 6. All right, now what I want you to do is take a look at this problem and realize what's going on. Now, instead of distributing here, your other option I want you to start looking at when this is divisible, right? Would this work? Is negative 2 divisible by 2? Absolutely. Okay, so if I go to this, now I have n plus 5 equals negative 1. Okay, we're trying to make your problem solving more efficient. And now we're going to subtract 5, and look where we're at. N equals negative 6. Your call. Okay, so we talk about this in class. I'll say, oh, we like to do the hokey pokey because we're going to put the 2 in and then eventually have to take the 2 out. So if we can avoid the hokey pokey, I know it's fun. I totally get it. But if we can avoid that, then you can save yourself a little bit of time.